celebrate the life of our grandmother. My name is Kim.
And I'm Emerson, the favorite grandchild. On behalf of all the 9 grandchildren, Michael Jr., Kimberly, Krista, Melanie, Alexandra, Ethan, Michelle, Brandon, and Danielle, we want to share a few moments that we'll always carry with us. Grandma was an extraordinary woman. In her 96 years, she imparted invaluable lessons about love, learning, and the importance of family. Brandon and Danielle, I'm sure fondly remember the many, in quotes, history lessons shared during Grandma's visits to Jamaica with Auntie Cecile, Uncle Connie, Uncle Des, and Auntie Joni, and how they rubbed shoulders with dignitaries in Jamaica during their youth. Stories about Norman Manley, asking Grandma to look up words in the dictionary during deliberations around Jamaican politics, and Wasamanti sitting in their living room on Mountain View and sharing advice on life. Grandma taught us that family came first, it always will come first, and that we must always support one another, and that love is the strongest bond that we can share. Grandma's love was steady, unwavering, and deeply rooted, just like her connection to Jamaica. Melanie, Rochelle, and Ethan will surely remember when Grandma would visit Jamaica, and they would make the trip out to Tollgate on Saturdays in the back of their dad Lloyd's brown pickup. The car ride seemed as if they were lasted forever, and I completely missed that. On the long drives, Grandma and Lloyd would recall the days with teacher and the memories that they had together, while Melanie, Rochelle, and Ethan sat in the back seat listening to stories of how strict Grandma was and the many families that they touched. Looking back, those car rides felt as if they were so long, but those memories that they will always cherish. I can personally attest to her supporting me into my pursuit of my dreams, my career, and will continue to do so until the last moments.
Grandma's greatest love was for her family. She was the glue that held all of us together, even when miles apart. My sister Alex and I remember day-long parties spent playing in Grandma's yard at her big light blue house on West Euclid Street. Her house was always a vibrant gathering place for all generations, young and old, enjoying good food and good music. Memories of Grandma laughing with Aunt Hans and Grandma Daisy. These moments, as small as they may seem, were the foundation of the incredible love that she gave to all of us. Krista always looked forward to Grandma's visits each year. When Grandma wasn't in Connecticut, she was just a phone call away. Grandma was a great companion for watching TV, even if she was resting her eyes. Not only did they share a passion for teaching, but they also shared a passion for shopping. After Krista got her license, she became Grandma's personal chauffeur. And before GPS, Krista relied on a map and Grandma's guidance. Together, they explored every Filene's and Macy's in Connecticut. Grandma often expressed how proud she was of each of us, celebrating every achievement, big or small, making us all feel special. We are all here today as a testament to the family that she built and cherished. Today, we remember a grandmother who filled our lives with love, knowledge, and endless support. We will always carry her lessons with us, and we will continue to make her proud. Grandma, you lived an incredible life, and we are so grateful for the time that we shared. You'll forever be in our hearts. Thank you for being our teacher, our guide, and our greatest supporter. We love you always.
That was fantastic. Emerson, I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was the grandchildren tribute. Emerson Chambers, everyone, my taller, better looking. Who's up next? Anyone?
I want to say something quick quickly. On your table, you see little bowls of Kit Kat. So, one day I was going out and I said, okay, what do you want me to bring back for you? I guess there must have been like 10 commercials running on Kit Kats because she said Kit Kat. Mom doesn't really drink milk. And then, no, I said, oh, there you go. On your tables are bowls of Kit Kats. So, on one of my errands out, I asked Mom what she wanted me to bring back, and she said Kit Kats. No, Mom. No, Mom never really drank. She didn't drink milk, right? So that was an interesting ask. Elaine, who left, thought it was hysterical when I was complaining to her in the office, that it was 2 for $4 at Walgreens and how expensive it was, and now this was a new budget line item for me. So Elaine thought it funny, so the next thing I know, I get a package from Amazon to Mama G, enjoy your Kit Kats, love Elaine. And so I went from buying 2 for $4 to the cases at BJ's, right? So enjoy the Kit Kats, that was her favorite.
All right. Any more takers? Cousin Dennis? Second cousin Dennis, but first in my heart.
I just have to say that it is because of Auntie G why I am in this country. I remember being in our home on Russell Road, and she came and said, "Would you like to go to the US?" And I remember distinctly to this day, this was in the late 60s, of her saying that to me. And had she not come to me and presented me with that option, I might still be in Jamaica, but it might be completely different because of Auntie G.
All right, no pressure. No pressure. Anyone else want to come here? All right, this is cousin Jackie.
I'm honored to speak on behalf of Auntie G. I have such fond memories of going to Tollgate on our summer vacations, and I thought, let me go into her classroom. In her classroom, there was a sign. There was signage, aim high. So, in all honesty, that became my goal, to aim high. So, at her 75th celebration, there were several past students. And guess what? They all said, "Oh, that was my goal, to aim high." It was something, that I picked up. But everyone, she instilled such a sense of striving to do your best, and with love. You could always count on her to back you up. She would act kind of like as reconnaissance sometimes for me. If I needed inside information on anything, she is the person to whom I would go for inside information. I will miss her dearly. I had the benefit of seeing her often in her home in Miramar, because I live very close to here, 10 minutes away. So I will always hold her special in my heart. She was my mom's sister. And I just love her, and I know I'm going to miss her. But we have so much love in our family. It will continue. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Anyone else like to speak? Is there a doctor in the house who wants to speak? Maybe one with really good hair. And innocent yellow, maybe. Ethan, you wanted to say something, you said? It's early, it's early. This is one of our friends from way back. Way back. She's also one of my fans on Facebook. She watches my postings. If any of you are injured in an accident, if you slip and fall, please call me, 203-344-4444. Michael Chambers Jr.
Good evening, I'm Pauline Morrison from Tollgate, Clarendon. I'm one of Miss G's goddaughters, right? I call her Goddy G. Before Joy, I was the only girl in the family. Joy stole the joy. She was a dear woman to me. I can remember the days growing up. 2 bottles come to church. One for me, one for Al. And Al and I, we were always tasseling for the best. I remember when she migrated to the States, she always wanted me to be here. And I can recall Tony has always been sending the invitation letters when you usually go to Eureka Road to get the visa. I have been there many, many times, and many, many times Tony sent those letters. Never gets through, but I finally came up. She was overjoyed to know that I am here. I might not have visited her as often as I should, but I always call her, keep in touch. And when I say, who is that? Oh, Pauline Carr. Okay, how are you? And we'll laugh and chat and then we say goodbye. She has been a dear godmother to me. I remember the bows she usually take for me back home when she comes to the States. The pretty socks with the lace, I don't know if you remember those socks with the lace, and the panties here with the frills. I don't forget those days. We had a good time as a godmother and a goddaughter, and I enjoy her children all my life until today. May her soul rest in peace and perpetual light shine upon her. Thanks.
So much. I am going to try to forget the paintings with the frills. Next to the stage. Sir.
I know, right?
Sir? Mr. Spence, thank you for joining us.
So I met Dr. Courtney Chambers my first day of medical school, and we've been friends ever since. Everybody in the room with the last name Chambers, can you put your hand up for me? The genetics are incredible. You can pick a Chambers out of the room from a mile away. You know, there are a few things that you tell a human being by, and they'll walk on this earth. It is not the degrees they have or the material things that they acquire, but the ability to raise a close-knit family that stays together forever. Ms. G has managed to do that. She had an infectious laugh that made that even the lowest stranger feel like a wonderful human being. And for your time on this earth, Ms. G, we give eternal thanks. Thank
you. Wonderful, wonderful. Good picture. Grandma's often in red as we see in this picture. She loved her good red dress. So, anyway, possibly Boston. Boston. Is there anyone here from Boston? Boston. Auntie Steph. Thank you for joining us. I have lots of aunties. Lots of aunties. You hear aunties. Like, you didn't think about it. We have lots of family. Most of our friends we are blessed have we've inherited and incorporated in family. And Auntie Steph is very much, there's not a DNA test that says that we are not blood, but she's by any stretch of imagination my auntie. Auntie Steph.
And of course, the real connection is my brother, Michael. He declared that I was his sister from another mother. So, I have been accepted into this family. And I'm not Chambers, but every being in me tells me that I am so connected to all of you because Mother G, she accepted me and became my surrogate mother. And the other connection that is so profound that years ago, back in the 60s, Vivian, Monica, the Gregorys, we lived on the same street in Kingston. And we have stayed connected all through these years. And I've been in Boston, folks have been in Connecticut, but we've been still connected because Mike and the other members of the Chambers clan came to Boston, to Northeastern University. Again, their education, that was another connection. Mom being the educator that she was. And she poured so much love into her family that it didn't matter whether or not you were connected by DNA. You truly felt like you were a part of that family. And the pins that I made for the family, it's a heart of red, her favorite color, embraced by two arms. And the inscription at the top says, "Share is love," and that is God's love. And she has shared her love through him with all of us. And we have a responsibility now to honor her legacy of love and caring for others and being respectful. She's the most graceful woman, lady, I should say, that anyone can meet. And she shared such respect for human beings that there was nothing that she wouldn't do to help someone and make a difference in so many people's lives. So, on behalf of my husband, Leroy, who's here with me, and for all of my other sisters in New York and Boston, and, you know, I'm representing all of them since they couldn't be here. But I just want you all to know that you had the finest example of what motherhood is about. She was more than a mother hen in that she cared for all children. It didn't matter whether you had a DNA connection. So I do honor her because she was a very, very special lady who deserves all the respect that we can bestow on her. And the best way we can do it is to continue to share love. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Steph. I wanted to take a moment and to really thank the catering staff that did a wonderful job. Did you guys enjoy the food today? They did a wonderful job. So thank you for the church that accommodated us with the space. Thank you for getting us the extra chairs and the extra table, because so many people, we didn't even expect this many people to come out and share in our remembrance and the celebration of our grandmother's life. So thank you to the church and thank you to the catering staff. Anyone else that wants to come up? Anyone? Any grandchildren from Jamaica, female? Daniel? No? You're okay? All right, I'm just checking. Anyone want to voluntarily come up here? Cousin Constance. There it is.
Hi everyone. For those who don't know, I'm Constance Campbell. I'm the daughter of Cecile. I'm here representing Canada today. Unfortunately, Auntie Joni would have loved to come. I believe it took him about half an hour to convince her that that probably wasn't a good idea. But I expect that they all were able to watch virtually the ceremony here today. And I know my mother could have come if she could. What I wanted to say today, although Auntie G was one of the important aunts for me, is the importance of family. And I came here to see my cousins. And I really challenge all of you to please hang on to each other. My mother took me all over to every one of your houses so that I knew you. And I need you to hang on to that. Not just the Chambers, not just the Doran, not just the Campbell, but there are Sugars, there are Goldsteins. There is a whole family of first cousins. There's a whole family coming down from Daisy. And it's up to you to make sure your kids know their cousins and their kids know their cousins. And that's what I want to remind everyone today.
She doesn't just say it, she does it. She really tries to keep the connections going, for sure.
Good afternoon. I'm kind of short, so I'm going to keep the story short. I'm one of Mrs. Chambers' students. I leave from prep school to secondary in 1954. She was my first teacher. We had a little fight sometime, but I won't go into that. But I leave Colgate, went to high school in Kingston, worked in Kingston. Me and my wife migrated, and we run again into the sea. So since then we keep in contact. If she don't hear from me in a week, she'll call me and say, I can't hear from you, Phil. And I do the same thing. So my wife, I'm really like a family now. She's a favorite person. She have a person that she war with, regular friend, nothing serious. So she's touched everybody. She's kind and calm and think. So she will rest in peace. As the pastor said, 96 years on this earth, it's a celebration, not a funeral. So thank you for listening and thank you for coming. And on behalf of family, I'm part of it. All right.
Upgrade to pastor. All right. Is there any more volunteers before I start calling for names? Anyone else is approaching? Anyone would like to say anything? Any friends of the siblings? The mark of a good man is that the mark of a good man is there a mark here? Okay, what do you want to say, Michael? You don't want to come up? Anyone else want to come up with the sir, are you ready in the back, sir? Or you're still warming up? You ready? Are you warming up? No, you start taking time warm up. As my father, he doesn't move as quickly as he once did, so he has to stretch a little bit before he comes up. Facts over feelings. Anyone? Anybody tall, good-looking cousins that are going to law school in the fall want to talk? No? Check it. Anyone? As the Elder Chambers, Evangelist Chambers, Bishop Chambers, Honorable Doctor, not medical doctor. You got something online? Anything? This is my I tell people that I'm simply borrowing this gentleman's name. We are trading and I'm borrowing it. But his life is changing because for a long time he walked to the room and I was Mike's son, and now he walks in and now he's Mike's father. Mr. Chambers, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, sir. A few years ago when he became a lawyer, a friend of mine called me and he said, I was walking by a courthouse that there was a procedure going on. And he said, I heard somebody speaking and I said to myself, when did Big Mike become a lawyer? So the fellow said he turned back and went to the room to see who the person was. And he said he saw my son delivering. And he said, I should be proud. So I said to him, turn this thing around because somebody did that to me today. Your son was awesome. I am glad that somebody said let me feel good. You have to say, you taught your son well. Thank you, Brother Brendan. Brandon, right? To wait for the punchline. Brandon, right. Now, if I fail to recognize any person in the room tonight or today, remember now, somebody said this is not a funeral, right? So I'm going to try to make it a Steve Harvey. Okay? Because we say we're not at a funeral, so I'm going to the Steve Harvey version of the repast. So I am here to sell a book. You know, we already did the repast, everybody is full, I hope. And if you notice, Curry Good has not always been on a repast list because most people are wearing white. But my mother knew that I loved curry goat, and most of the time when she wanted me to get me over to the house, she would call to say she was fixing some curry goat. And the wife, not liking to do curry goat, I spend the time eating curry goat at my mother's house. So that's how that went, you know. But I'm here just to, and I'm not doing a eulogy. I would have loved to have done it, but there comes a time when you have to pass the baton, when you know that your thing not working as good as the other things, you know. And you have to come to understand. The elder folks in here, listen one thing. It's hard to pass the baton, you know. But there comes a time when we have to let go. And it was so beautiful, September 14th, when I was in that room, and I heard my sister saying to my mother, I am going to stop controlling you. She's a control freak. She likes to be in charge. And she said to my mother, I'm going to stop. What we were doing, we were monitoring her respiratory rate. Is that it, doctor? The rate of breathing. And if it exceeded 26, that means she was in trouble. So we'd reach to the nurse, and the nurse would say, a drop of morphine, 25. The nurses in here would understand. Is that 25 milligram? What? 0.25. You see, I'm not too. That's Dr. Roxanne Melbourne Chambers, who in July brought my mother back from death 3 times. With an IV pole made out of wood. It is amazing, you know. We will save this for the reunion or the memorial service to tell you about that miracle, you know. So I'm sitting there watching my mother transition. Conscious deep breathing. Anybody, you have ever heard that term? Anybody? Conscious deep breathing? But when you leave here, go Google it. No, I am on YouTube it and watch for folks telling you how to deep breathe. Because most people are dying because we don't know how to breathe. Where I'm going with all this time. Everybody sitting looking. See? For the last 4 years, I have been teaching mind power. Mind power is using the mechanism in the brain to control our thoughts. Now I'm telling everybody in here, if you can control your thought, you can become anything you want. If you can control how you think, and even at this and this is not a late stage. Even though at anybody's age, I think I'm the oldest one in here. Anybody past 75? Okay. Okay. There is still hope if you get the book. Now, I teach a course every Thursday night on Zoom for the last 3 years. And every Thursday night, who you think is the first person on the program? My mother. And when I hung up at 10:30 at night, who is the first person calling to give the criticism? What could have gone different? My mother, even at 95. So this book, and this is no joke, if you get this book and you read this book, Mind Power, my mother edited this book. This is no joke. 94, she was editing, still doing it. So I'm here to tell you, I watched her exhale, her last breath. And for the last 5 minutes of her life, she wasn't breathing. It was the reflex in her system because she was practicing conscious deep breathing. And so it took time for the body to catch up. Most of you in here don't do conscious deep breathing. You don't even deep breathe. I hear you, I'm telling you that. When you breathe normally, your organs don't get enough oxygen, and that's why we have all sorts of diseases. If you breathe consciously, do your conscious deep breathing, you will end up like mom, where when time comes to die, your system will know how to breathe and will continue breathing. But it was my sister who said to my mother, Mom, I am going to let go. You work it out with your God, tell him when you are ready to come. And in 10 minutes after that statement, Mom went home to be with the Lord. You know? So we keep telling ourselves that when God is ready for you, he will call you. God will never be ready for you. You have to tell God when you are ready for him. And that is no joke, because once my sister let go of my mom that morning, she started crying, my mom. Ladies and gentlemen, Mom edited this book. What I'm going to say to you is, give me your address, and I will mail you a copy of the book, and I will put it on Mom's account, because she got $2. Okay? So, like I said, I am not here at the funeral. I am here to sell books. And you heard my son tell you about the other gospel, well, not gospel, is another version that's going in the Bible. They soon rewrite the King James to add my thing to it. You know? The gospel of mind power. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the evening. And I am sad not because I'm sad, but I am not sad. That's our president talking. You figure which president. You know? So, when you see me crying, I'm not really crying. I am getting rid of the tears. My mom was the greatest. My wife is getting a little bit to that point where every Sunday I attend 2 services. This is no joke. 2 services. And last Sunday, I go to the 8 o'clock, then I go to the 11 o'clock, and 11 o'clock gets done at 2. And I'm getting out and rushing because the sermon was real good. Empty chair. Anybody know that song by Byron Lee? Right. Google it. Google that song and play it. You look over, like I'm over by my sister's house, and I'm looking at the chair where Mom used to sit. And every time I look, I'm hoping to see her. She's not there, empty chair. You know? So what we're saying to everybody is, we have to learn how to control our minds. If we can do that, control your thoughts. All of us in here, anybody want to be a millionaire? Steve Harvey Show. Anybody? Nobody want to be a millionaire? Nobody? That's good. Then my talk here tonight was in vain because I was trying to make some millionaires like that. You know? So, thank you all for coming. My friends came all the way from Connecticut. Mr. Archer, I have to single him out. Mr. and Mrs. Archer, just for reasons. Please just stand up, sir. And Mrs. Archer. I do a Cricket Hall of Fame in Hartford, and in October 5th we are going to induct a bunch of persons. The program is in place, but Mr. Archer single-handedly, he got some help from my brother Anthony, redecorated the Hall of Fame so that when I go back Tuesday, all we have to do is have the function. So thank you very much, Mr. Archer. And he's here. And he promised me he was going to come to help me cry. Because I'm a crybaby, you know. So sometimes when you see me carrying a little thing, it's the tears I'm wiping. But tears are good because if you keep it in, you will be stressed. And listen to this, all the doctors in the house may get upset, but stress causes cancer. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming out and celebrating with us, a great lady, Miss Gloria Jpyce. Thank you all. One lady just gave me $50 for the book.
Thank you. There'll be your table in the back, and Mr. Chambers will be signing and selling books. And if anyone wanted a complimentary copy of the book, just go ahead and add my page on Instagram, attorneymichaelchambersjr.com. I'll be willing to get you. Again, if you've been injured in an accident, call this today. Is there anyone else would like? Are there any daughter-in-laws? Maybe from Jamaica? Maybe a medical professional? Yes, Crystal Lynn Valentine, my auntie.
Everyone. So, yes, the physicians now have come around to the fact that stress causes cancer. And deep breathing is highly recommended, and mindfulness. So, get the book, right? So I just want to reflect on my early years with Miss G. And as I sat there, I thought, well, I met Miss G in 1989, so she would have been, what, 61 or something. And I met Miss G on my first date, heading to a New Year's Eve party. So I sat in the back seat, and Miss G was in the front seat. And we had a lot of fun together. Joy clearly remembers dropping Al or Ron to me off at the airport to some track meet, and Miss G, Joy, and I hitting the road to Ocho-Rios to an all-inclusive and having a wonderful time. So that's the Miss G I remember. I remember soca parties in Jamaica. So I met her at 61, and Miss G was attending soca parties with me, and she also attended church as well, Ron. She was, I guess we all prayed for children for many years in my family. And so when Brandon and Daniel came around, Miss G just moved in and took over. And she pampered me as a mother to her grandchildren and as a daughter-in-law. So I'm meeting Sadie for the first time today, but I knew about Sadie and Roxy and Cornell, who I don't think I've met in person, but Miss G's whole family meant a lot to her. And you see the pictures. So when we come to Florida, we'd have to go to Uncle Basil. And, you know, she just always, so I'm just a daughter-in-law, but I know everybody. She just loved her entire family. She embraced my family, and she embraced all of Ron's friends and my friends in Jamaica. And we all remember her with fondness and happiness. And Mickey, I thank you for that remembrance today, because you have charged us not to mourn, but really to celebrate the life of someone who has meant so much to all of us and has impacted many lives. And we love her, and we let her go till we see her again. Thanks.
So, your time. We're bringing the left-handed spin bowler.
I don't have any book. And the doctor said don't cry, but I will cry and I will cry. And I expect you guys to help me. So Mama, till we meet again, till we meet again. Today I say, till we meet again, not to Mama, but to a dear best friend, sorry, a very dear best friend. Someone who for the past 72 years have been taking care of me, and I'm quite sure after today, she'll continue to take care of me. I'm being very selfish now because every man for himself. I remember back in the days, she was someone who would tell the girlfriends, Mikey and Tony were here with me on Saturday night. They did not go out, they stayed here, we watched TV. But those days are gone, but they were wonderful days when you know she had your back. You could sneak out, and she would take very good care of you. Vivian, sorry Vivian, but you know, so you got something. I remember back in 1972, when Mama started college. It was very funny watching her, the teacher becoming the student. She was in the classroom with kids who were our age, Mikey, myself, Lloyd. And it was so funny, you could see the change in her from that strict teacher when you were Tollgate to that rounded mother. Can I say mother? Student. There are two things I'm gonna really miss about Mama. Or 4 o'clock phone calls. Hello? Everything all right? Yes, Mama. Call you back tomorrow. And that was it. But every 4 o'clock, if you didn't call, she would call. And it's the same thing except when we had little seedfulness going on.
How is the weather?
Well, that's only under the winter time. The next thing I'm gonna miss is playing my reggae and calypso in front of Joy's terrace. And as she sat in the wheelchair, I would be there dancing and dancing, and she would just smile. Now, I can't call her at 4 o'clock anymore, but I know we're gonna communicate somehow. Somehow she'll find a way, and we'll make it happen. The next thing I know I can do for her every single day, I'll continue to play my reggae. I'll
I continue to play my calypso, and I know somehow she'll hear and she'll remember me. So Miss G, Mama, best friend, until we meet again, you know, they say, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Today, Mama wants no more. She's at peace. Rest in peace, Mama.
Anyone else? Are you coming up, Alex? You want to talk? Before you come up, I just want my mother to know the statute of limitations is up on all the stories. I love you, Dad. We forgive you, but most importantly, you are not guilty. You're not innocent, but you're not guilty. All right, Uncle Alan, you're ready.
You know, my brother Lloyd is always the one to sing a song. And the stuff that has been said so far has really represented Mom well. There's a little passage I was rehearsing this morning. And it's Paul writing to the church in Ephesus, where he was reminding the members there what to do. And he simply said, be imitators of Christ. And today again I heard the other passage I was rehearsing, read in church, and it simply said, Jesus wept. So in church today, I was following the teachings of Paul because I wept. And just now, I didn't know my brother Tony was a Bible reader, but it seems as if quietly he's also been following the instructions of Paul. But I don't think it's tears of sorrow, as Mick said today so eloquently. The memories of Mom always leaves a warmth in your heart and a smile on your face. And there's a little song I'm going to try and sing, not as good as Lloyd would probably do it, but Danny, I've been practicing this as I should have, dear senators. Technical team having a little challenge, but we'll sort it out. That's This really reminds me of Mom and everything she's meant. Unforgettable. Unforgettable, though near or far. Lick it back? All right, here we go. Rising Star. That's the talent show in Jamaica. things to me never before. Has someone been more unforgettable in every way? And forevermore, that's how you stay. That's why, Mama, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. Take it away, Sam. Save some of the clapping for the unforgettable in every way, and forevermore, that's how you stay. That's why, Mama, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. You know, Mama was my hero, and I claimed her as a hero when I was going to church with her as a young toddler, probably like Aiden's age. Mama couldn't leave me in the pew to go up for communion. I'd bawl down the place, wail down the place. And I don't know why they named me Ronald, and I'm the fourth one. But I had an attachment to Mama. And she had this ability, this skill, that I don't know if she was unique in that. She had 6 children, and she knew just which button to press for each child. She knew them intimately, inside out. And if you listen to her on the phone, it's almost as if she was a different person to each child. And she knew, you could tell by what she was saying and the tone in her voice, which child she was talking to. And that song I just sang brings back memories for me, because her brother, Uncle Jackie, used to sing that song in New York, and he'd say, F's, this is for you. And he'd put it on the old what do you call it? Gramophone thing. And you would hear the needle scratching, because it had been played so long and so much. But Mama, wherever you are right now, save a space for me, because I'm coming home to be with you at some stage of the game. We love you. Father God, I know, is hugging you right now, cuddling you in his arms. And so there's nothing but joy. Because we know believers don't mourn without hope. We know where she is. And I hope that for all of us, when we get to this point in life, we can say to ourselves, I know where I'm going. I know. Thank you all for coming out.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Anyone You know, I heard him singing this morning when I was walking by his hotel. I thought it was his wedding anniversary. So good for you, sir. Any other daughter-in-laws? Maybe the longest running daughter-in-law want to come up? Maybe some of them. Longest daughter-in-law. That's what you call it. Anyone? Might have two names. Bibi and Marjorie. Marjorie, Bibi. Would you like to come up? Okay.
After all been said, I don't know what else I can say. But you've heard it. I've had a wonderful time with my mom. And the first memories that I have is on Saturday mornings. The little country bus named Pioneer. We used to take that bus to Kingston every Saturday morning. She was into her culinary arts. She was taking a course, I think it was at Kingston Technical, cooking and baking, and she was good at it. Last week my wife she's good at baking too, and she would be carrying over some stuff to sample in the morning, and I would be telling her no, because I was just reminiscing on those days when Mom used to go to her work baking, and she would take back samples for me in the evening, and we would hit the bus coming back to Tollgate. Wonderful, wonderful time. She was an awesome woman. It was recently, and I had to share it with my brothers. We were talking, and I found out that she was into politics at an early age. Grandma and Cans and Marty, they used to talk about this Dr. Lloyd. From when I was a little kid, I was hearing about this guy. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago I realized this guy was a politician. He was one of the founding members of the People's National Party. And when I look at some dates, Mama was born in 1928. The PNP was formed in 1938. And Mama told me that she was with these guys. Dr. Lloyd, there's another one, Allen from Black River. And she was responsible for taking the minutes of the meetings. And this was at age 11. I kind of doubted her, So while we were talking, I said, listen, I have a friend named Allen in Black River. Let me give him a call. And I called him. And I said to him, who is E.V. Allen? And he said, that's me. I said, no, it can't be you, man. My mother, And he said to me, his grandfather. He was named after his grandfather, who was a politician. So, I realized that what Mom was saying were facts. It's just that in the latter days she forgot about politics, I guess, once the family came on. I recall seeing Mom outside playing volleyball. She was teaching the young girls how to play volleyball. And this is after having 3 kids, because I was the third one. And she was out there actively playing with these young ladies and teaching them the game. She was an awesome lady. Awesome lady. Her first job was teaching at Ferncourt High School. And that she did when she was age 16. She taught there for a while and then went back over to Slipe at the primary school. And that was where she met Ronald Adolphus Chambers. And that's where the family started. An awesome lady. She taught us so much, as you would hear from Jackie and Constance. Family, love. And Constance, my dad sent me up to your mom and to Seal for a while. And that brought more love into that family's life. And to see was so happy. That's when she got pregnant. And here we had Constance at that time. It's such a close, bonding family. Jackie, Dennis, we spent so much time together, so much time in Hartford. And Gloria was always at the center, holding everything together. It's not that she wanted to educate her son or her family, but this was the channel through which she used to get us all together, to get us all into the United States and keep us together. It wasn't easy for the first one, Michael, to come up. And then Tony. That spelled trouble. 2 kids, 2 young boys in the United States. So she came up and joined them. I was there shortly after. That's 3 young men in the United States. That was a tough job for anybody. She was going to school full time. She had to. And we were also in school with her, studying with her. I remember you. I was just right behind her. So the same teachers she had, the same teachers I had. And she would recommend to me which one I could get an easy course from and which one was tough. I was also working, and I recall once there was this guy from Lithuania teaching a course, and I had a paper to say hand in, and I didn't find the time to do it. And I must confess, I borrowed a paper from Mom. All I did was change the cover and thing, but the teacher, at one point, and when he was handing them back, he said to me, you know, youngster, this paper seems very familiar. And I said to him, you know, Professor, a subject like that, there are not too many ways you could tackle it. And he said, you're right. Now to get back to it. But yes, we had wonderful times together. And as you say, just a quick call to say hello. How's the weather? How's it going? And you call again today. We would call every day just to say hello. Mom, we'll miss you. But we can't be too selfish. As you hear Michael say, she was ready. And she told us, and she gave us all the time in the world to put everything in place. Mom, we thank you. Everyone, thank you all for coming.
I also, before my mother comes up, she's not getting out of this, I want to encourage you guys to really listen to what Uncle Al was talking about, right? And his faith and belief. There's a lot of people in here that say they're Christians. You shouldn't have to tell me you're a Christian. I should know. Right? The way you carry yourself, the way you talk, the way you move, the way you interact with people. We need less people who call themselves Christians and more people who live Christ-like. Amen? Amen. So now you can follow that one.
I know everybody in this audience might be saying, you poor thing. For me to have both of them, you can imagine. But I am the first daughter-in-law, and he's the first grandchild. Of course, he was maybe about 8 years old before another grandchild came. So, you know, they have this thing going about who is number one and who is what. But anyway, that's their thing. But I just wanted to say I was in school too at the time with everybody in school as well. And because I went to Connecticut and I met Mike 6 weeks after I went to Connecticut. And yes, and he wouldn't leave me, so I didn't get to date anybody else because he wouldn't leave. So anyway, you know, we would go to school together. Miss G and I, we had a few courses together as well. And so after, you know, sometimes I remember it was in the summertime, and I had a part-time job, Miss G had a job, and Mike had this little car. It was a Triumph. So he was gonna pick me up, or I don't remember if he had to pick his mother up first or me, but anyway, it turned out that the three of us had to be in this car together. Now, if you know the side of the Triumph, so of course I'm the smallest one, so I'm in the back seat, and you can't even see me. And Miss G is in the front, and Mike is in the front. So we're driving, and we're going on the underpass, and Mike is, you know, feeling good, so he is singing this loudly. So all of a sudden, this police turn around, and we hear this sign. Zzz. He comes in, and he has his flashlight, and he saw me in the back, so of course he doesn't know if they kidnapped me or whatever. So he said, he shined a flashlight in my face, and he said, "Did someone scream for help?" And Miss G looked up and she said, "No, he was just singing." So, I mean, we go way back, and then when the brothers came, and they were just as crazy as Michael was. And so, but it has been pure joy and treasure to be a part of this family. And, you know, Miss G had welcomed me from the first time, and she became a part of our family as well. So she will be greatly missed, but they're good memories. Thank you all.
I came up here today. When I hear my mother come up here and give such a moving tribute, I think, Dad, you've done such a great job. I'm trying over here too. I'm leaving the floor for you when you're ready. So if anyone else would like to speak, there is another. Well, there's a gentleman sometimes I get mistaken from every once in a while. I don't know if he has anything. Wants to come down. He's a very good-looking guy with a bald head. You know, a funny story about this guy. I was at my daughter's birthday party, and a woman came up to me, an attorney I know, and she was like, "I just met your father, and he is such a good-looking guy. You guys are such a good-looking family." But I know Dad wasn't there yet, so it was unimportant. So I pulled him aside and I said, "Boss, I got good news, and I got bad news. The good news is you are a good-looking guy, but the bad news is you look old enough to be my father." Dr. Chambers.
thanks for coming. I tried to write a little speech, I tried to write a little poem. I was even going to write a song, but I don't have those gifts. And I figured out...
You're too tall.
I figured I'd just speak from the heart, which is from whence came my mother. So I'm the youngest one. We used to say the Nicholas one, but I think we're going to change that around a bit. And I have towers of strength who went before me, my mother being first. A lot of folks think and say, and there's literature to talk about the sons who lost their fathers and what they become, and who they become. Not in this family. I was 15 when Dad died, and my mom did and was everyone and everything. I have friends here from elementary school who were talking about going early in the morning and picking, we used to call it cane bun, which is when they burn the sugar cane and they cut off the tops. My posse and I and Dad with the shovel would load up the car and bring for the cows, to feed the cows at times of drought. Closer. There's my bedroom voice now, son. And I have friends who showed up. I posted on my high school graduation thread last night, and somebody showed up today. Wow. I have a dear friend, Dr. Kendrick Spence, who's in the house. We traveled through med school and residency together. We call that in the trenches. I have a buddy, Mark, from college. We used to be called brothers back in the day. And each of these people have met Gloria. Each of them have been influenced by her. Each of them will tell you the same thing. She was nothing but a mother to anyone and everyone who she had the opportunity of being around. She didn't care if you were the girlfriend, the wife, the friend. She would often advise you against anything other than doing and being good to others. And I stand here before you today having said things that sound like, you know, at one time I was concerned that Mom didn't think we had done or were being enough, that we weren't rich, until we all realized how rich we were and how rich we are. Thank you, sir. We have friends and family that go deep, and I don't have to say it, we go deep. We used to have conversations where we talk about the 3 F's. And we talked about faith, friends, and family. I keep telling my son about our friends, who we call friends, who we choose to be our friends, and sometimes who choose us to be their friends. And oftentimes it's not because of what we have, it's not the title behind our names, it's who we are as people. And it was preached from up above. The reason my brothers, my sister and I have you all in our lives is not because we made up an idea of how to be a good human being. It came from above. It came from way above. It landed with our parents, and we are here to pass it on to the next generation and the next generation after that. We were at 5010, which is Joy's house, and where Gloria has been for a long time recently. And last night, when I was looking around at generations of Chambers, and I just shook my head because it was noisy, it was raucous, but let me tell you guys, it was fun. And I knew Mama G would be right in that chair, and she would have that little smile, and all of you know it, that little smile on her face, just listening to all the commotion with all the kids and everybody else. Again, I didn't write anything, sorry. My life has been structured, I'm enjoying a little chaos. But I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. Remember Mama, remember Miss G, Golly G, teacher. Remember her, the way she has lived her entire life for us.
In this lifetime, children owe a tremendous debt to their parents. As good parents, bad parents are indifferent. We all owe a tremendous debt that some people say you can never repay. But I would argue that you 6 are as close to even as anyone could ask. Ready?
Because I had to get home on time to set up the iPad just in case. So this is who she has always been, very supportive to family and their dreams. So Dale, brother Dale, who we had never met, and unbeknownst to me, Michael had never met Dale either at the time. But everybody, and Kim was on that call as well every Thursday. So Dale composed an original song last Mother's Day, 2024, and I was blessed and honored that he shared it with me in its raw form, the raw version. So when I recognized that Mama was failing, I called Dale and asked him if he would allow me to share the song. Not only did he not hesitate, he put everything in motion in order for you to hear this tribute today. So the vocals, we honor Linda Wilson, piano and music, Young Kwang Jun, and the lyrics are by Dale Brown. Again, it was written to celebrate Mother's Day 2024 and to honor women as the bearers of the divine spark from which life is created, the mothers of creation. So thanks to Dale and the tight-knit crew and for him sharing this with us today.
Dear Mother, your gifts to the earth, in your love we receive. We truly believe, dear Mother, your gifts to the earth, in your love we receive. Love divine, the pangs of labor you endure. gifts to the earth. In your love we receive. We truly believe, dear mother, your gifts to the earth. In your love we receive. We truly believe, mother, beloved, mother, beautiful, mother, blessed,
Acknowledging Linda Wilson as a vocalist and oh, sorry. Okay, so I'm not going to be funny. That's for later. I'm short. I can look tall because I'm loud. All right, so Mama was with me for my first birth, and I was with her for her last. And the day that I had dreaded since 55 years before had arrived. And you know, between Mama and God, Cynthia, Maxine, Gladys, those were her nurses, and Woodland that morning. Okay. I don't think, and Pamela, of course, and Maggie. Pamela. That's Pamela without the money. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, Mama was my Thelma and Louise, my Bonnie and Clyde, Betty and Bench. And it feels good to have delivered to her to the end. Mama was always God blessed and highly favored. And God was good. And He sent angels along our path so that I could deliver 100% to Mama to the end. And never lose my faith as almost happened with Daddy. So Matthew West's song, Blessing Offers songs, they really got me through. And it was a vertical learning curve. And Mama taught to the end. So there were personal lessons for me, and giving up control, as Mikey mentioned. And lessons from Mikey as well, to let go of some fears, because Mikey has always been afraid of doping. So he is building a museum. He's building a museum for the Cricket Hall of Fame. And so somebody donated a building to him. The building used to be a funeral home. So Mikey was hemming and hawing about whether or not he really could do this thing. And watching him go through this with Mama, I have to say he's a very strong guy, and we now will be receiving that building. I don't say I'm not still afraid of that, because all the lights will probably be in the house if Vivian leaves him alone. But at least we're getting there. And you know, like I said, she taught to the end. So on the Thursday night before she passed on Saturday, they called and they asked, would we be okay with having a trainee come along? So I called the brothers and I said, well, Mama's still teaching, so we're going to have a trainee. It turns out the trainee was from Jamaica. So Mama was teaching to the end. Again, I would personally like to thank Cynthia, Maxine, Gladys, and Woodland, who really were anchors for me in this uncharted journey. Pamela without the money, really just a tower of strength. Actually, you know. And when I say Mama was blessed and highly favored, she was. There is just no words to express the immediate bonding and the level of care and caring that these guys came through. You know, Woodlyn is, she was there with us that morning, and she was so gentle. She's like, Miss Joy, I don't think we're going to get bed bathing Mama tomorrow. And she looks at me, do you understand what I'm saying? You don't get any more gentle like that, you know. And I remember her saying to me, I don't understand why I got 3 days. It was like she came in Monday and it was Tuesday. I usually get 3 days. I don't understand why they gave me 5 days. And I said, you're here for a reason. And I needed her that morning. So everything worked out. Dr. Carew was wonderful to us on this journey, or with us on this journey. And I thank goodness that night when Mama was in hospital and I decided, Courtney always tell me I watch too much TV. So I was like, call a code blue, call a code blue. And Sonia came in and Sonia said, listen sis, we don't do that on my shift, okay? So then Sonia and I struck up a little friendship, and I said, well, who do you go to? Who is your doctor? And that's how we were introduced to Dr. Carew. Auntie Steph came down, and I said, I don't really like this doctor that she's going to. Come with me. We have an appointment. And Auntie Steph came in. We looked at she looked at the doctor and saw how he, did the visit, and she said, you're right. No, Ma is moving from him. So entered Dr. Carew. And Mama was so happy to tell everybody, well, I went to get my lab work done, and what happens? Somebody come from behind and kiss me up. Now, Dr. Carew. So she was so happy. On her 96th birthday, he called and sang happy birthday to her. So, just a very, very supportive cast. April and Dominic from United Care, who, we went through physical therapy with the broken hips. And, they became family. To the point where whenever April had a day off and Dominic had to fill in, all I would overhear is, no, Mrs. Chambers, don't tell anybody I did this, because she would end up getting a massage. And I would just sit there chuckling because Mama got everybody to do her bidding. Her caregivers over the years, I can't thank you guys enough. Y'all never flinched when she said you couldn't cook, right, Kimberly? And every phone call you hear, Tony's calling, Mikey's calling, you hear the same thing. But you can't cook fish without salt and garlic, man. So that was what we got a good taste of every single day. What I can say is that wherever Mama was, that was base. So in Connecticut, it was Euclid Street. Down here, 5010, Jamaica Toll Gate. So wherever Mama was base. And with each base, we really expanded the family. You all are family. So the Toll Gate posse, right? Toll Gate posse, right? The Hartford posse, we adopted so many families. The Florida posse, can't thank you guys enough. The brothers who represented the sons, Rod, Fillmore, Devon, who isn't here, and Roger, who you heard read the lesson. Cannot begin to say thank you enough. Rod remembers the times when he would take Mama to the movie midday, and she's like, but all Ma did was sleep. Marie, who during COVID, before everybody else got vaccines, she opened up a slot for Mom to get a vaccine with her family. Roger, who literally one time we were coming home from the hospital, I'm like, Roger, can you help me get Mom out of the car? I didn't intend for him to lift her out of the car and take her all the way to her chair, but he did. And Devon, who, literally was my backup when I was at work, taking Mom to all appointments and everything. Just, you know, just good old-fashioned support. Phil and Lorna, who made sure that Mama got fresh snapper every week, and, you know, her Christmas cake. John and Mauricio, like I said, the Peraltas, Sharon, Karen, Gladys and Lawrence, who would take her out, you know, back in the day. I mean, when Lawrence started hitting cars, I decided, no, I don't think you're going on the road. I think you just need to stay home. Dawn Visa, who is a past student, and we started going to Dawn. And both Dawn and I were shocked when Mama decided, okay, she's finally ready to cut her hair like Ruby. That's Roxanne's mom. And so I was like, all right, you know, I think that's a good length. And Mama looks at us and says, no, I want it shorter. And we were like, oh, okay. And she loved it. When Auntie Cecile called the last time, we did a FaceTime. And all Auntie Cecile kept saying was, you cut her hair? But why did you cut her hair? And Mom was like, no, I like it short. But she didn't like gray hair, so she always had a color. To be honest, I never knew how strong I was until I had to plan Mama's funeral. Shopping for that last outfit, it was a beast. I went to Macy's, didn't find anything, went to Dillard's, and I'm literally walking out, and I'm like, you know, you get that knotty stomach, and I'm like, walking to the escalator, was behind me. And I'm like, I cannot believe I didn't find a dress. And I looked up, and there was the perfect dress. Went downstairs, and there was the perfect scarf. Because everybody knows Mama always had a scarf, but we had to show up the hair, so there's no hat. So most people didn't know Mama's hair color. Because if you're outside of the home, she always had on her hat. Like Daddy, Mama wasn't that lovey-dovey parent. I think that was just their era, until the grandkids and the great-grands came along. She mostly spoke through the cards you receive for birthdays, Christmas, graduations, and special occasions, or just because. I have one in my bathroom. It's dingy, it's yellowed, and it reads, "Daughter, love you. Just thought you could use a reminder." A 99-cent Hallmark cup, which validates me. She took her time in selecting those cards, and as you heard, she has 5 sons. So it was a long time in Walgreens every single time. I had to go and buy the birthday card or the Father's Day card or the Christmas card. But she took her time because the words meant a lot to her. And yes, I have a trunk full of cards that I hoarded over the years. And yes, it will be fun going through those. Then when, you know, during COVID, of course, then I got the cards. So you know who always had Daughter of the Year awards. Most truly. Yes, I was greedy. I wanted more years. You know, I wasn't always the bestest. I used to tell her, I'm not the bestest daughter. But I am the only daughter. And I used to ask her, well, who's your favorite daughter? But I never knew what I was. So, as Cher's song says, if I had to turn back time, yeah. So, again, Mama for me was the bestest mother. I think we were all well suited. You know, I think we dropped into the right family. Well, I'll be bouncing to everybody's house. No. I carry light clothes, just one bag. But just want to thank all of y'all for everything that you've done over the years. Not even if it wasn't from Mama directly, if it was for any of us. Because whatever friendship you gave us, whatever blessings you gave into our lives, she reaped the benefits as well. Right, so thank you guys.
Again, thank you guys for joining us for the celebration of life of my grandmother. This has been a wonderful day. Please, let's build on this. We shouldn't only see each other on this day. Please call each other, email each other, check on each other. because we are family. Thank you guys all again for coming, and God bless. Enjoy the rest of it.
Yeah.